The alarm screams at 4015 a.m. The room is still cold. Your breath hangs in the air before you even move. You have 3 hours until your first shift starts, then another 8 hours of work, then a second job that pays just enough to keep the rent from bouncing back into the landlord's pocket. You are exhausted, not the kind of tired sleep fixes. This is bone-deep weariness, the kind that makes every step feel like dragging an anchor through mud. You want to quit, you want to lie in bed and let the silence swallow you whole. It would be so easy to stop, to accept that this grind is just punishment for leaving everything behind, but you do not stop. You get up, again and again. Why? Because consistency feels like a cage. Society sells it as discipline, but underneath it is fear. Fear that if you miss one day, the whole structure collapses. Fear that you are falling behind while everyone else seems to be sprinting. This pressure is heavy. It weighs on your chest when you sit in the break room, staring at a vending machine light flickering orange. You feel like a fraud for wanting more than survival. You feel guilty for resting. That guilt is not virtue. It is a trap. The mind believes that relentless motion equals worth, but this belief is false, and it will break you long before your body does. Stop. Look at Epictetus. He was born in chains, a slave with a crippled leg, owned by a man who broke his ankle when he didn't move fast enough. Imagine that pain, the sharp crack of bone under torture. Imagine waking up to serve another's will while your own body screams. Epictetus did not find freedom by working harder for his master. He found it by changing how he saw the chains. He realized that no one could touch his mind unless he allowed them entry. His consistency was not in obeying orders, it was in holding on to his inner sovereignty every single second, even when beaten, even when humiliated. He did not seek to escape slavery through labor. He escaped it through refusal to be broken by it. You are in a different kind of prison, not iron bars, but debt, language barriers, the exhaustion of being invisible in a city that moves too fast for you. You think consistency means grinding until you break. It does not mean that. It means refusing to let the external chaos dictate your internal state. When the supervisor yells, when the bank account bleeds, when the loneliness hits at 3 a.m. in a kitchen that smells of stale grease and despair, you stay anchored, not by doing more, but by knowing who you are beneath the exhaustion. There is no shortcut around pain. Amor fati. Love your fate. Not the romantic version, the real one. The version where you accept the weight because it is yours to carry. You cannot change the hours you work right now. You cannot erase the fatigue in your legs. Trying to fight reality creates suffering. Accepting it creates power. Seneca understood this. He wrote letters not as abstract philosophy, but as urgent reminders for men drowning in ambition and anxiety. He told them to remember death before sleep, to wake up knowing life is short. This was not morbid. It was clarifying. When you know time is finite, the petty fears dissolve. The shame of struggling disappears. What matters is how you use the hours you have. You do not need to be a CEO by next year. You do not need to pretend you are thriving when you are barely surviving. You just need to endure with dignity. To treat each shift, not as a step toward some distant reward, but as an opportunity to practice integrity right now. In this moment, with these tired hands, let the fear of failure vanish by embracing it first. Premeditatio malorum. Imagine the worst case. What if you fail? What if you stay stuck here for years? Feel that terror. Sit with it in the dark. Then realize you are still alive. You are still standing. The worst case is not death. It is discomfort. It is discomfort. And discomfort is survivable. You have survived worse than a hard day at work. You crossed oceans. You left home. You navigated systems designed to exclude you. Your resilience is not a glitch. It is your core identity. Do not betray it by seeking validation from a world that does not see you. Build your inner citadel, brick by brick, not with grand gestures, but with small refusals. Refusing to hate yourself for being tired, refusing to envy those born into ease, refusing to let bitterness rot the soul. This is true consistency. It is not about checking boxes. It is about staying aligned with your values even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. Change your perspective. The grind is not a test you must pass to prove you belong. It is the ground beneath your feet. It is real. It is here. Stop looking for an exit that does not exist yet. Focus on the next hour, the next breath, the next honest action. There is peace in this, not the peace of success, but the peace of clarity. You are doing what you must do. And in doing so, you remain free. No amount of money or status can buy back the time lost to anxiety and self-hatred. But integrity costs nothing. It requires only honesty. You are stronger than the narrative that tells you to burn out to succeed. That narrative is a lie sold by people who do not know your struggle. They have never felt the ache of standing for 10 hours while their children sleep in another country's time zone. They have never calculated food costs down to the penny. You do their work. But you keep your soul intact. That is the victory, not the paycheck. The preservation of self amidst chaos. Let go of the need to be impressive. Aim only to be present, to be kind to yourself when the weight becomes too heavy, to rest without guilt, to wake up and face the day, not as a victim, but as a participant in your own life. The sun rises again tomorrow. The alarm screams at 4:45 a.m.